So the question is, are the movies bad for you? Yeah, we were talking about the Satanic Panic. So with Michelle Remembers, Michelle went to the psychiatrist because she was having depression, and all these memories came out, and then eventually, it was later revealed that the psychiatrist said, "Well, the memories will kind of come out a little bit better if you strip down to your underwear." And instead of you being on the couch, why don't we get on the floor of our office and we'll cuddle, and that'll help the memories come out. And eventually, Michelle and her psychiatrist both divorced their spouses and married each other, right? So I don't know if she really believed these things or if she just sort of she knew her psychiatrist was into Satanism and into conspiracy theories and was just sort of telling these stories to keep his attention. Her mother had already died. Her father, though, was absolutely devastated when this book was published, right? And said, I can't believe that someone would tell a lie like this about their own mother. And the book was a bestseller. People loved Michelle Remembers, and there was supposed to be a movie with Dustin Hoffman as the psychiatrist, and that didn't happen because the father threatened to sue. So that's in the case of one person. Other people throughout the Satanic Panic, I think, really did believe this. They really did believe that their parents had been Satanists, and there were even some of them who realized, my parents were not Satanists. They didn't torture me. They were just distant, or maybe even it was sort of, routine sexual abuse, right, or physical abuse. But that's the other side of the Satanic Panic, is it covered up actual abuse with these kind of wild stories. So one point that has been made is, who is really inflicting suffering on these people, right? Especially if we're talking about children. There were very small children during the Satanic Panic who were interrogated about all these kinds of really awful topics. So who is really creating the memories in these people that are painful to them? Is it the actual Satanists? No, it's actually the therapists, right? The therapists, regardless of their intention, are actually creating, memories of childhood abuse. There's one other thing that I should mention. Folklorists talk about something called ostension. Ostension is where a story is told enough that it comes to life, right? So people actually go and act it out. So, for example, y'all have probably heard that there are people who put poison in candy on Halloween, right? That's a very, very old urban legend. And as far as we know, nobody did it until I believe it was 1974 when a guy in Houston took out a big life insurance policy on his son and fed him a poison pixie stick on Halloween. And his plan was, well, I can get away with this because everybody knows random people poison children for no reason on Halloween. So with The Exorcist, there was a guy a couple years ago. There's a Vice documentary about him, but he changed his name to Pazuzu, which is the demon from The Exorcist, and he killed two people. And he was definitely mentally ill when he was arrested. They said this person has a profound mental illness, but he was acting out these sort of movie villains that he was obsessed with, right? What's more common is you have figures like Bob Larson, who calls himself an exorcist, and you can pay to have him cast out your demons over Skype or something. But he wears a big clerical a collar, and he waves around a big cross because he is doing an ostension performance of The Exorcist. But in that way, with disturbed people, this can kind of give them a script, right, to go and do bad things. Now, would somebody like Pazuzu have killed people if he never saw a horror movie? Probably so, right? If someone is really sick, all you can really, that may just be the form that his particular sickness took. At the end of the book, we do say we don't support any form of censorship, right? We think people who make horror movies should be able to make whatever kind of horror movie they want to make, even if they want to make something that is kind of playing with where reality ends and the movie begins. But we do think that the public needs to have better information literacy. The public needs to get better at sort of understanding and thinking about, how do I know this? Where does my idea about this issue come from, right? Because that was a big issue with the Satanic Panic, was people taking claims uncritically and not having kind of any basic framework in a logic or information literacy to either find out what's real, or if you're not sure, go and actually find reliable sources to arrive at what's really happening. Yeah.